welcome everyone. Elena Rarick here with Transform Publishing, here with two of our very special authors, Henry and Bill, the authors of Finding God's Purpose for Your Career. How are we doing today, guys?
Well, I think everything is about as good as it could be, but there are things in the world we'd like to change, and hopefully this book was going to help some people make some changes.
Well, I will tell you, I'm learning enough about this book. I know that it's going to do just that and then some. So you're on the right track. Well, today we're here to interview these gentlemen, and they're going to answer 10 questions for us. And these are the 10 questions. Question number 1, what's the response rate for jobs posted online? Number 2, how does your book help improve those odds? Number 3, what's the key to successful interviewing? Number 4, what's the key to effective negotiating? Number 5, what about ageism or other forms of discrimination? Number 6, why do you have a whole chapter on resilience and attitude? Number 7, what are the key trends in the job market today? Number 8, what are new fields that will create more jobs? Number 9, what is a plan B? And number 20, besides the book, what programs do you offer to help job seekers? So are you guys ready to get yourself back in the hot seat today?
Yeah, I think we are more than ready.
All right, perfect. Let's start off at the top. Number 1, what's the response rate for jobs posted online?
Bill, you want to take that, or you want me to go with it? It's up to you.
I'll start. Most studies and articles that I've read say between 3 and 5%. So you're looking at 1 out of 20 to 1 out of 30 just to get a real response. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have an interview related to that. And this doesn't count. We received your resume. Thank you for sending it. That's not a response. That's a bot sending it back and that kind of thing. So I mean a real response from a human being that says they've seen it. So one of the things that we want to make sure people do is have more success in reaching the hiring managers. And that's why we say online submissions. And you certainly need to do them in some cases, but that has to be a minor tactic in terms of how you approach the search.
Let me just add to the 1 to 20 and 1 in 30 and give that a deeper meaning. Put yourself in the position of being online, going onto Indeed or any of the sites. Your odds are less than 1 in 1,000 that you will get an interview. That gives, I think, real teeth.
That seems real depressing, guys. That's like winning the lottery.
Pretty much.
So you help raise those odds, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. I like hearing that there's help out there because that seems overwhelming. All right, number 2. So how does your book help improve those odds? There you go.
You know, I want to just tackle the first part of it, and Bill is going to add to this, I'm sure. But I tend to be one of reasonably few words. The bottom line is we have found ways and pioneered methods to get our clients in touch with decision makers, increasing the number of interviews they will have and reducing the time frame it takes to get there. By doing the things we do that most people are unwilling to do, our clients land quickly. And again, let me add, usually are able to bring their spiritual values together with their work life so that they love what they do. Bill, you want to take that and add?
I mean, the big thing about it is you feel like you're actually doing something when you, quote, apply for a job online, but it's just going into the black hole. And using one of the techniques that are described in the book, one of my clients just last Monday, we started his outreach campaign. And by the end of the afternoon, he had contacted and had conversations online with 6 different people who were involved with that company. And one of the decision makers got back to him and he had an interview at 10 o'clock the next morning. So in less than 24 hours, he got through all the clutter that would have taken, days, weeks, if ever, by doing things online.
And Bill, I want to add something. Ego gets involved in this with most people because most people want to beat their chest and say, I can do this. Anybody can get a job. We both know that. We all know that. But the bottom line is getting the right job is an art form. It's not a science, and we teach that art.
I'm excited did you make me want to go get a job even though I don't want a job?
Yeah.
I want to test this out. This is awesome. All right, number 3, what's the key to successful interviewing?
I'll
Bill, you
start.
want to take it?
Yeah, I'll start, and then I'm sure, Henry, you're going to add a lot to this. But I have found the 3 things that you need to have just to get off the ground are obviously the skills that are needed for the position. The second thing is developing a rapport with who the interviewers are in whatever way that means, being able to let them know that, hey, you're likable, you'd be good to work with, and you can provide the value that they're looking for. And the third thing, and this is where people sell themselves short, probably 95% of the people I work with understate what they can really do, or they take it for granted. So you really need to be able to self-promote, self-advertise, and go through this marketing and sales exercise confidently, as opposed to, well, yeah, I did that, or I did this. You have to be able to put yourself out front, because you're not going to win the gold medal unless you give every effort and give the information that hiring managers are looking for that says, hey, you're the person I want to bring on board.
And my footnote to that, Elena, is if you were the interviewer, I'm going to show you what I can do to make your life easier and better, as opposed to what I've done in the past. What can I do for you? That's what it's all about.
I love that. Very good. So then what's the key to effective negotiating?
I'll start with
Bill,
this
let me
one
run
too.
the, oh, Bill,
Yeah,
let me have this one. This one, because it's my favorite. Here's what I believe is real. Most people get caught up in the logic of what I'm worth, or what they're worth, rather. And that's intangible. What they're worth is irrelevant. It's what the job is worth. And when people are able to learn how to find out what the range or what the income and what the company is willing to pay, once you're in those reasonable parameters, you can begin to negotiate. But you can't negotiate against nothing. So you need to be able to uncover the right information about the job and what they're prepared to pay, and then negotiations can begin. Go ahead, Bill. I know you have more.
Yeah, no, I'm going to use a story that's in the book, and it's something that I experienced one summer in college, selling Kirby vacuum cleaners door to door. And once we were making the presentation, you would show that the vacuum cleaner had, obviously the vacuum cleaner, a rug shampooer, it could clean shades, mattresses, stairs, and a whole bunch of other things that came along with it. If you bought those items independently in a store, you'd pay about $1,500. But today, Mrs. Johnson, you can buy this Kirby all-in-one for $5.95. That's what it was priced back then. I don't even know what it is now. The point is, you have to build your value up so that negotiating becomes easy. And what Henry says, what your job is worth, is exactly part of it. But if you build yourself up and let everybody in the interview process know exactly what you're worth, the negotiating is a lot easier.
Elena, you asked in the last interview we did some time ago about humor. Did I want to share a little bit of humor? But I have one tiny little bit of humor. Do we have 30 seconds?
I have all the time in the world for humor. That is my.
Let me share this.
Yes.
We're sitting in I'm coaching a client, and he called me up and he said, the interviewer asked me what it was going to take financially to get me there. And he said, what should I tell him? I said, I want you to go back and I want you to say, if I tell you what I want, is that what I'm going to get? And he said, that's funny. And I said, try it. And the fellow laughed on the other end of the phone. And he said, well, no, quite obviously not. He said, good. He said, tell me, what's in your budget? Once I know what's in your budget, we can make a determination as to whether I fit. He got bumped up $20,000 that day. So this is part of what we teach.
That's awesome. Very cool. Like you said, you make me want to go try it out, but I don't want a job. So, all right. Number 5, what about ageism or other forms of discrimination?
Bill, yours.
I'll start with this one. I see this all the time. I mean, obviously, Henry and I both have hair that is indicates that we're not in our 30s anymore. But what I say to any client that I'm working with that's, let's just say, 50s into their 60s, you need to have and demonstrate the following 4 things just for openers. Number 1, you need to have current skills. Number 2, you need to be able to work with people of all ages. Number 3, you need to be dependable, reliable, have the energy that indicates you can do the job. And number four, you have to be flexible enough to be able to turn on a dime, because companies and departments are doing this all the time. The final thing is that I say to them, look, your age indicates that you have the experience to both identify and start solving problems before the 20-somethings even recognize they exist. So take advantage of that. That's an asset.
Now, in an era and in a time when immediate results count, one of the things that I have shared, and it's not always true because with generalizations, obviously there are exceptions, but most often small to medium-sized companies are very interested in getting somebody who can hit the deck running and produce results immediately. And that's something that has to do with the decisions we make about what size companies we recommend clients pursue.
Very good. All right, number 6. Why do you have a whole chapter on resilience and attitude?
Bill, you take it. No,
I'll start.
Real quick, couldn't you write a whole book on that?
Well, we could, but it wouldn't necessarily fit in a career book. You know, that people have written books on this. The real reason is this, because you're going to take your lumps in job search. It's like they say at the amusement park when you get on the roller coaster ride, buckle up and hold on to the bar, okay, because you're going to bounce around. I've had clients who've had 3 interviews in 2 days and none of them went well. And you could sit on it and sulk for a week, but you've lost a week if you do that. So the faster that you can shift and the better your attitude and approach are related to your job search is the quicker you're going to get the results. Related to attitude specifically, there's a meme out there and it's in our book. It's like, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it. Mm-hmm. So the combination of those things, and there are a couple stories in there. One's about a football coach who lost his son and his job within 6 months. And last year, this is Andy Reid, Kansas City won the Super Bowl. So resilience is a huge thing. I learned it from my mother, who was born with spina bifida, and they didn't think she'd get out of the NICU at 2 days old. They told her she'd never walk without leg braces or have kids, and I'm the oldest of 6. So I kind of learned it by example growing up. There was somebody who had the deck stacked against her for years, for her whole life, but she never let it stop her.
You know, I want to say something that is almost silly. Attitude is everything. You give me somebody with a positive attitude and we can show them how to reach heights that they probably did not even dream possible. Yeah. But if they view the glass as half empty, they win, but they lose.
Very good. I love everything you have to say. This book is definitely something to teach people the how to step by step, but I really see the motivational and inspirational side of this too, for people to really change their life and their purpose in their career. So it's beautiful. I love the flat tire analogy. Will you say that one more time, Bill?
A bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it.
Very good. I think I'm going to run and post that to social media. No, it's really good. All right, number 7. What are the key trends in the job market today?
I'll start.
Bill, I'll let you take that, Bill.
Yeah, the key trends are this. Depending on what field you're in, what you knew 2, 3, 5 years ago can be completely obsolete. So you have to remain current, especially in fields like IT, web development, and all the stuff that goes along with that. The other keys in the job market are there are other fields that are opening wide. Like we're on a Zoom call right now. What was Zoom 6 months ago? Okay, I mean, they were a good company, but now they've just exploded. So the goal is to get in front of the wave instead of behind it, and make sure that you're in a situation where you're taking advantage of it as opposed to being left behind. And 100 years ago, you know, buggy whips were still in vogue. But then, of course, the automobile made them out of vogue. And here we are 100 years later, you know, driving everywhere we go. So kind of look at it like that, but put yourself in front of the wave instead of behind it.
You know, he always puts that buggy whip in there just to take a jab at me. But, you know, I have to tell you, there are certain fields. I mean, technology, medicine. We could give you a list of things that are working and are valuable today, and will become more so as we go forward in the post. Well, you know, the problems we're having today. In this era, we have to recognize where the action is and head for it. And Bill and I can help you find it.
Perfect. Now, I know I'm about half your age, Bill, and about a fourth of your age, Henry. I'm just joking.
You gotta rub it in again.
I'm just joking. I had to go to the extreme. I am a very wise and smart woman. However, I have never heard the term buggy whips. So would one of you please enlighten me for anyone else watching this who feels like I do right now?
That's how you motivate a horse to move.
That's it. When it was horse and carriages, that's how you made the horses move.
Okay, now I know what it is. I didn't know if it was a kind of car that I had no idea. I get it now. Got it. Thank you.
Have you ever
Contrary
seen
to
a dial
popular
phone?
belief, I'm not propped up on this chair. I'm actually sitting erect. You know?
Have you ever seen a dial phone? No, just kidding. Go
Now,
ahead.
I was raised with dial phones, I have you know, and when I was a little girl, my daddy still had 8 tracks. So
There you go.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Okay.
and we had a record player. So yeah. All right, number 8. What are new fields that will create more jobs?
The two biggest ones, and I've seen several presentations on this, are artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. And one of the speakers that I heard in the last several months basically said, technology is going to change your life more in the next 5 years than it has in the last 25, which is incredible when you think about it, because 25 years ago, PCs were just coming out, email just hit it, the internet wasn't even there, etc. So think about what the next 5 years is going to bring. And that's where, I mean, I'm just giving you two fields. I mean, and those can expand into several other, subfields that go along with it. But again, AI and IoT are going to be really important for all of our lives, businesses and, personal lives in the future.
I can't add to that. That said well, Bill. You covered it.
Perfect. All right, number 9. What is Plan B?
Yeah, Plan B is something that you often hear kind of colloquially, but as it relates to your career, it's this. There are dozens of companies out there that provide part-time ways of earning income that can supplement what you're doing on your own. And oftentimes they can lead into your own business that you can have on your own, so you're not having to rely on your salary only. They could be investment properties, they could be a multi-level marketing company, they could be investments, let's just say, that do well in the stock market or bond market or whatever, and any number of things. And I call it Plan C driving Uber. When you need cash, a given week or month, anybody can drive Uber for a couple hours and bring in $50 or $100. So to me, it's important to be flexible and open to other ways of earning income, because in a lot of people's cases that I've worked with, is their sole source of income is their job, which some people refer to as just over broke. Then it turns into, when that goes away for whatever reason, they're pushed out or whatever it happens to be, they're left holding the bag. So a secondary supplemental source of income to me is really important.
And I say, in my, again, abbreviated form of expressing it, it's the way to stay alive financially until you achieve the real goal. But keep this in mind too. One of the reasons for a Plan B, in addition to just finances, is it keeps your mind off the struggle that a job search really is. Bill, you said it before, and we agree. If I could give clients one wish, it's simple what it would be. Tell them the day they're going to go back to work. And you can't do that. And they struggle and they wrestle. And therefore, if they're busy and earning some money, it's going to take their minds off the struggle that they face every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. Very true. All right, guys, this book is obviously a game changer for a lot of people, whether it's their personal life, I can tell is going to be affected greatly, and for business. But it doesn't stop with this book. So beyond the book, you have programs or coaching. What else do you offer that helps people?
Bill likes this one, so he's going to take this one.
Yeah, right now what we're both doing is one-on-one coaching, but we want to be able to set up a platform, and it's in development, where we can do group programs, say 5 modules in 3 weeks with a 2-hour Q&A at the end, where we can give people everything that they need to successfully find a job at a lower cost than it would be if they worked with us directly. So those are the two things that we're going to be doing, and we're going to continue to post, videos and blogs of excerpts of the book, because if you read the book all the way through as though you're on a plane or something, it only has so much impact. If you read it and stop and do what it says, then it's going to have a lot of impact. So we need to parse it out, and that's what we're going to be doing as we fill out our website and our blogs and videos and other social media activities.
And what I want people to be aware of is the job search is something that they can grade themselves at. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. Are you getting interviews? Are you getting quality interviews? And if you are, wonderful. But if you're not, there comes a time when you have to look in the mirror and say, people who've done this 3,000 to 4,000 times are probably better at it than I am because I've only done it 3 times. Experience matters, and we can help you achieve a goal. Have faith, keep the faith, and let us help you achieve your personal goals.
Beautiful. I don't even want to close it out because that was the perfect ending to this interview, but I have to close this out. So Bill and Henry, thank you so much for being here and giving us more insight to the books or your book and your program and coaching and everything else. We're really excited to see this book hit the market, and it is coming soon. So, and if you're watching the replay of this, it might already be on the market, so definitely get yourself a copy. But Bill, Henry, thank you again. It's been great chatting with you today. And for everyone else, thank you for watching, and continue to follow Bill and Henry with their journey, because there is another book coming, right, guys?
We're doing a second edition.
Elena,
Yes.
it helps us get our job done.
Perfect. All right, we'll just leave it at that little teaser. All right, thanks, guys. Have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.
You too.
Bye.